Morphin Legacy presents The Grid.
Howdy, Ranger Nation. This is Shatteray22, Vice President of MorphinLegacy.com, welcoming you to episode 160 of The Grid, where we'll be finally reviewing the last 11 episodes of... Joining me in this review is Austin.
Hi.
And Amber.
Well, hello there.
So let's not dawdle around.
Let's get this party started!
By starting our review with episode 12, Ultimate Mystery, written by Johnny Hartman and directed by Robin Grace. So up first is the character focus, which is Amelia. Let's talk about her civilian plot. After a cringe interview with Pop-Up at Area 62, since he used to work there, for Mystery Buzz, Stan reveals footage of what he thinks is a Bigfoot sighting, which Jane brushes off, but Stan and Amelia decide to look around for Bigfoot, which is revealed to be the monster of the week, of course. They're saved by the pink Dino Fury Ranger, with the two learning not to do anything dangerous, while at the same time, we learn that Amelia's thirst for solving mystery stems from Amelia wanting to learn what happened to her parents, which we are to assume died in a fire because of a stock image of a house. On to the Ranger plots. General Shaw, you heard me right, General Shaw,
Queen.
the Beast Morpher's mentor, informs the Dino Fury Rangers there has been a break at the GB facility in Coral Harbor, with multiple monsters escaping the facility, which was kind of weird. I didn't know that they had a monster facility. I thought they just blew them up.
I guess their little jail? I don't know. Scrozzle was arrested.
I don't know why they didn't just blow him up like everybody else.
We need him for the future.
One of which is a robotic night monster who is seen fighting the Beast Morpher Rangers via unused footage, so it was like a Go Buster monster they didn't use. And I guess that makes it a good reason why they don't show up in this episode. Also, since Coral Harbor and Pine Ridge are so close to each other, one of the monsters, with big feet, they won't let you forget he has big feet, ends up in Pine Ridge, fighting and eventually being defeated by the Dino Fury Rangers. General Shaw thanks the Dino Fury Rangers for their help, revealing that the Beast Morpher Rangers successfully recaptured all the prisoners, except for one, which we will talk about in the villain plot. Nothing from the Voids this episode, but we do have a few villains running amok, one of which ends up in Pine Ridge, named Lowthorn, who is the nephew of Lokar.
I am Lowthorn, nephew to Lokar, the terrible wizard.
Like a terrible person or bad at magic?
He was very good at what he did.
Anybody remember him?
The big floating head dude.
Yes, that was in like 2 episodes.
Was I supposed to?
That was a random connection.
It really was. I was thinking maybe Lothor. That would have been amazing.
That's essentially the name with an N at the end.
Yeah.
I see why they made him Lokar's nephew, besides, oh yay, reference. He has a big spiky head, he has that satanic face.
It works.
He fights the Dino Fury Rangers while they make fun of his big feet, until they are forced to retreat from battle because he's super strong. He does, however, fight Dino Hinge, which he attempts to destroy since that's their connection to the grid. Zato then tackles him to teleport so he can burn some Sentai footage and destroy him. We then learn who was the culprit of the jailbreak. It was Lord Zed! Dum dum dum. And he broke out our boy Scrozzle. Double dum dum dum.
Scrozzy!
The Razzmatazz is back! So let's talk about some funnies, but not really because it's Pop-Up. Pop-Up does some wacky shit in a hazmat suit at Area 62 and blends some giant berries with Jane, which of course makes a mess on J-Bork's face, cause Power Rangers. Why would you make a pie out of berries that probably have nuclear radiation on them?
Maybe they ran the Geiger counter over it.
He ate one on site at the beginning of the episode. Just popped it in his mouth. He's like,
Not enough for the flavors to melt on his tongue. Some introductions. We got no Sporks Beast, but we did have Lothorn. See? Why did you name this character Lothor? I called him Lothor. Prison monster, which was an unused Go-Buster monster that fought the Beast Morph Rangers. On to Easter eggs. We talked about this Lothorn, big spiky guy. He also mentions Angel Grove when he gets eaten into space. And he uses a pocket gigantifier, which was the growing method for Ninja Steel. We also got General Shaw via Zoom call because I guess she couldn't leave Coral Harbor. So there was like a little scene at the end where you see is the GDHQ and it's totally just artwork of the headquarters because they tore that set down after they stopped filming. But that was convincing enough, I guess. Okay, on to highlight. I'm glad we're finally getting a reason for Amelia's paranormal mysteries obsession, her little hyperfixation. It's because of her parents, which have been mentioned since Mixed Scary Men are in season 1. So I guess it's good we're finally getting to this since there's only like 10 episodes left. All right, so on to quotes. Lothorn has a pretty funny one when Izzy asks,
So you can destroy it.
No! So I can host a tea party for me and the forest fairies and... yes, to destroy it! Then maybe some tea.
I'm still down for that tea party, girl, though.
okay, so that's the end of episode 12. Not a lot happened, so we didn't really talk about it that much. So on to episode 13, Love Hate.
Ugh. This is the only time I'm not for enemies to lovers.
Written by Maya Thompson and directed by Robin Grace. So this character focus is Amelia and Ollie. So it's Valentine's Day at Buzz Blast, and they're holding an obstacle course competition. So we see Izzy and Fern, because Fizzy. They even say Fizzy in the episode, so it's canon.
I love that.
And Stan and Annie.
Stan! I love Stan.
We stan that twink in a purple hoodie.
Mm-hmm.
So the lesbians win, of course. Ollie walks in with flowers, and the lesbians goad him into telling them who he wants to be his Valentine, which is obviously Amelia, but she walks into the room, so of course Ollie has to make someone else up. So of course this makes Amelia jealous.
I didn't know you had a crush. You know daisies are weeds, right? Hello, Stella, enjoy these weeds.
Hey, I think they're pretty. I cut them fresh myself.
So you just cut up someone's yard?
You know what? I'm going to Novar Cafe to give these beautiful flowers to my Valentine.
She's a bitch.
I mean, he's kind of a little bit of a bitch too, though.
No, they're both bitches.
I mean, I guess they deserve each other. So yeah, they go back and forth each other, with Ollie being even meaner while under the influence, but not really because he kind of acts like that already when he's not under an evil spell.
Yeah.
Let's be real, he's kind of a jackass.
We like him a lot, but
I don't.
I like Ollie. That's probably an unpopular opinion, but I like Ollie.
he's fine.
Until Amelia admits her feelings for him, breaking the spell, of course, because it's Power Rangers. And the two start dating now, I guess.
That's heteros.
And then Zeta gives a call back to episode 3, being like,
Looks like Amelia really is Ollie's honey muffin now.
and everyone laughs even though none of them else were there. Moving on to Ranger plot, Ollie is put under a mind control spell to break into Dino Henge to steal pieces of the Rafcon message for Lord Zed, successfully delivering it to Lord Zed in order to fight his teammates, while Amelia and Zato fight Void King and some new generals, which we'll talk about in a minute. After some fight and spell breaks, we learn with Zato's mind reading the location of Rafcon, with the team heading there in the next episode. Onto the villain plot. Lord Zed arrives in Area 62 with his new general, Scissorai, from the planet Vonix. And the robot with some razzmatazz, Scrazzle!
Scrazzy!
They offer an alliance to destroy the Dino Fairies and split the Earth 50-50. So Lord Zed then reveals Scrazzle will build them a robot army, with Void King offering him blueprints to his former creations. So we're getting some bitches back. While Scrazzle is doing that, Zed gets his other general to mind control Ollie to get him the Rafcon message. And yeah, fight, blah, blah, blah. Moving on.
Zed also calls Ollie a good boy, and I about, passed away.
Hey, power ninnies! Come and see
How'd he know?
See what?
him!
Ollie?
Good boy!
Bruh!
You passed out in a good way or a bad way?
Oh, a good way, honey.
On to the comedic corner. Stan and Annie have a funny scene during their obstacle course where Stan is trying to get through it with disastrous results, and Annie is very angry.
Will you be my Valentine anyway?
Seriously, Stan? Not a chance.
I would still be your Valentine stan.
Moving on to introductions. Scrozzle, he's back again. He's working for Lord Zed now because Scrozzle had Zed stuff and Beast Morphers. And I said this when Zed was like, I got to get my Zed stuff back. He's going to come back and he's going to take Scrozzle out of GB prison.
Because he wants his shit back.
So yeah, that's why they kept him alive. And they mentioned the Crystal Dimension. So yeah, I technically named something from Power Rangers the Crystal Dimension.
Girl, what else were they gonna call it? The Piss Yellow Dimension?
They never named it in the show, so maybe.
I don't know why they didn't. They named the Cyber Dimension.
They never mentioned the Crystal Dimension in show until I put it in my database. Just saying.
Well, don't break your elbow patting yourself on the back like that, right?
I remember when we were hearing about Zed wanting that staff, and I'm like, Scrozzle's in GB.
There she goes. She called it. She called everything. She called the whole plot. She named something. There she go.
But seriously though, I said this fucking bit by bit of how they're gonna do it, and they did it. That's pretty impressive though, right?
No, it's just annoying.
So like Evox before him, Scrozzle is totally up Zed's ass, kissing his ass, doing everything with his ass. He even says,
Evox was nothing compared to you. But, don't tell him I said that.
Evox took over an entire dimension.
And killed a ranger.
Zed got his ass kicked by Tommy, by himself. So tell me again, who's the better villain? Oh, Zed's in Mighty Morphin. Big whoop.
But Zed's pretty sexy.
I mean, he's literally just like a skinless creature.
Yeah, it's pretty sexy.
I mean, definitely for the monster fuckers.
He got some muscles.
He got a dumpy.
He does have a dumpy.
It's all in that zussy.
Scrozzle also says, don't tell him I said that. Is Evox alive?
I mean, he was just a virus. How do you destroy a virus?
We did see the Robotron maker, so I'm thinking that maybe he's still alive and kicking in that thing. For maybe a future season. You never know. So let's talk about Scissorai and Boom Blaster. So Scissorai is some like samurai looking dude. He puts Ollie under a mind control spell. He gets his ass kicked by the Zord. Whatever. He's kind of nothing.
He was forgettable. I don't even remember him.
But Boom Blaster...
Again. A fucking again.
He's technically an upgraded version of Boom Tower. Because of course he has to have all the boom puns.
Is that Boom Tower?
That tower had no power! You can call me Boom Blaster!
So yeah, he's there. He makes his boom puns. He fights the Dino Fury Rangers for a little bit and then leaves with Zed to Rafcon. Moving on. Easter eggs. Zed and Scrozzle, I guess. Highlights. Happy we're finally going to Rafcon. Happy to see my boy Scrozzle. And I'm kind of glad Amelia and Ollie are dating, only for the fact that we don't have to see them snip at each other anymore.
They still snip at each other.
They snip at each other, but it's kind of more
subdued.
Oh my god, Amelia, you suck for thinking ghosts exist, you dumb bitch. Okay, so quotes. Zato has a cute moment where he talked about lichen soup.
Stella Novar. Is that a star system where your people went? But why mention the cafe?
Maybe they serve Rafcon lichen stew. It's so good that it's actually worth mentioning in a distress call.
Void King has a funny line where he says,
It's good being this bad.
That's a song from Descendants 3. It's good to be bad.
It's good to be bad.
You would know that. He also whooped Amelia's ass. You'll see why I mentioned this specifically in a bit.
Okay. He would have whooped anyone's ass. It's Void King. He's a king.
Void King specifically kicking Amelia's ass is kind of important later.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, so on to episode 14, Rafcon Revealed. Written by Maya Thompson and directed by Chris Graham. So the character focus for this episode is the Rafcon boys, because we're going to Rafcon. Road trip, or interstellar space travel trip. So I'm gonna mix the civilian and ranger plot because they're kind of together this episode. There's no, like, civilian plot except for some Nerf guns. Okay! So the Dino Fury Rangers head to Rafcon, which is completely empty. How convenient for something that happens next episode. After learning of its location, while Ion is convinced he is the key to defeating Zed.
I say we open up a portal and go now. I know I can beat Zed. The Green Morphin Master said it herself.
He was kind of annoying in this episode. Like, this is episode, what did we just say? 14?
14, yes.
And you're still being like, I don't know, teamwork. Girl.
Teamwork makes the dream work. You should know this by now.
That's like a season 1, early season plot. Come on.
That is like episode 3. That is every episode 3 of every Power Ranger season. Someone learns teamwork.
Yeah.
He also pisses off all his teammates. Izzy had enough of his bullshit. She says,
all I need is one-on-one with Zed. I'm destined to win.
Yeah, you've only mentioned it like 100 times.
They fight with Lord Zed and his crew, and Zato nearly gets his ass fried by Lord Zed, with Master Green revealing that she was responsible for teleporting them off Rafcon. Oh, and I learns a lesson about teamwork. Master Green shouldn't have gassed him up, though, because it kind of gave him an ego boost that nearly killed Zato. Alright, onto the villain plot. Lord Zed and his crew head to Rafcon to look for the Sporks machine, so Zed could use it to build an unstoppable army. Which, he has his Zed stuff back, right? Can he just make monsters out of objects and have an army?
Yeah.
But I guess Sporks are pretty much indestructible, so they can just keep coming back.
That is true. Also, I mean, Mucus is literally just, you can't kill her. She's invincible.
Unless she touches the cocoon, but we'll get to that later.
That had me gagged.
I know, me too. Oh my god. I put Boom Tower in the notes. That's how the same they are.
It's the same character.
It's voiced by the same person.
Well, yeah.
Boom Blaster, a new general named Null-Eye, who is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god, yes.
He is so fun. He's only in like 4 episodes, but
he left an impression.
So yeah, they fight the Dino Fury Rangers with Zed and Skrulzel finding the Sporks machine, going through multiple battle modes and boom puns until they are successful in freezing Null-Eye and Boom Tower. Zato and Ion eventually reach them and fail to stop him because he's fucking Zed. Also, Zed is super powerful since he got his Zed staff back. He fires a blast from his Zed staff when he like trying to fire at Zato. It misses and it hits his general and he just blows up. It is crazy. I'm like, Jesus.
That had me gagged.
Y'all are lucky the Morphin Masters saved your asses. Jesus. On to something a little lighter. Jane and Jayborg in the community corner, they have a little Nerf gun competition at Buzzblast. Looks like a little capture the flag with Nerf guns. Because Hasbro, with Jane and Jayborg being team leaders, Jayborg gains the upper hand at first, sending a little Trojan horse to Buzzblast, but Jane is able to knock her out of the game. And then she gets the flag, she's dancing down the stairs like, ooh, ooh, ooh. So yeah, she's dancing down the stairs until Jayborg uses her secret weapon, a literal robot that just knocks her out of the game. So I guess Jayborg's team wins. Do you think that's fair though?
No, I don't think that's fair because that is not a person that was playing the game. You're just using it to help you out.
I'm glad you said it's because he's a robot because Jayborg is a robot. And I feel like if we say it's a robot, then what is Jayborg?
She's a humanoid robot though.
She's an android.
He's just a little thing.
He has a name. He's a cyber coach, goddammit.
Oh, okay.
That's an automaton. That's not an android. That's 2 different things.
I love how we're having a little debate over the fucking comedic corner. Jesus Christ.
It's definitely going to be a conversation that the world is going to have in the next few decades, though, so...
We already have AI that can just pretty much replace everybody, so yeah. I'm sure the grid will continue with AI Ray, AI Austin, and AI Amber eventually. We'll just be like, talk about gay shit and Power Rangers, and we just don't even have to do anything. On to introductions. Null-Eye, voiced by Steve McCleary, who also voiced a different version of this same suit, which was orange instead of green, named Snag-Eye. He voiced the Stone Triplets, and he's also a writer on this season, so good for him.
Work.
On to Easter eggs. This was a little interesting thing I noticed. We see Lord Zed look at the Dino Fury Rangers with his Zed vision.
Oh, I don't even remember that. Cool.
Yeah, there's like a little scene where he uses it. I'm like, oh wow, they didn't have to do this. It looks pretty good. So on to highlights. Solon mentions that it's hard work turning a base into a spaceship. Foreshadowing.
Probably.
We had this gorgeous air shot when the Dino Fury Rangers run up that hill to reminisce about old Rafcon. Speaking of that scene, we also have a great scene with Zato about him reminiscing about Rafcon before the Sporks War.
I think that this valley is Imaruo, our home city. That's where the Towers of Learning once stood. 1,000 books for every scholar. And there was the spaceport, the noisiest place in town. My family lived at the foot of those hills. And just past that ridge is where the markets used to be. Before the Sporks. There's barely anything left now.
Russell Curry really acted as Zatosioff.
That was a good scene. That was cinema.
On to quotes. Lord Zed and Skrulzel have such a great dynamic. One highlight being the scene where Skrulzel says,
This thing needs some repairs. It's very old. but it shouldn't take too long. And it could use some pizzazz. Got any glitter paint? There's no time for glitter!
Javi has a cute little moment where he theorizes about why Rafcon is vacant, with him saying,
Did everyone go on vacation? To another planet? At the exact same time? Stop talking, Javi.
Ion calls Zed a meat man.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but then Zed kicks his ass later in the episode and he's like, who's the meat man now, bitch?
That was the exact quote, word for word.
Well, I mean, he does say, who's the meat man now? He doesn't say the bitch, I am the bitch. Okay, so on to episode 15. Morphin Master G. Wonder what this episode's about.
I don't know.
It's about Solon.
She doesn't get a single focus episode, by the way.
She does have a focus episode this season where she's gaslit by the Dino Fury Rangers when Slider and Mucus use some like hypnotic machine thing that changes their memories.
Was that the first half?
Yeah, that was the first half of season 2. It wasn't that much of a memorable episode, so I can see why you didn't remember it. Written by Maya Thompson, directed by Chris Graham, and this episode's character focus is Master Green and Ion. On to the Civilian and Ranger plot. So Master Green heals Zeta of all his injuries he got from the last episode. Thanks, Queen! And gives the Dino Fury Rangers the Dino Master Saber, a powerful sword that unlocks a pretty fresh coat and can perform an attack that can kill any enemy at the expense of the Zords and the person using it.
Why would you make a sword that does that, bitch?
Who perform that attack, by the way? Yeah, we kill our enemies, but kill ourselves too.
That's not even worth it. Sorry, world.
Very interesting. They have this super powerful attack. I wonder if they'll use it in the finale. After Amelia makes it all about her.
We already almost lost one teammate today. I'm not going through that again.
She always makes it about her. This is the Amelia show.
It becomes the Amelia show in the last couple episodes, so pretty valid assumption. Master Blue teleports into Dino Henge at the request of Master Red to remind Master Green that their code prohibits them from interfering with mortal lives. Zato questions this since they were just handing out powers like candy back in the day, until Master Blue gives us a lore drop about how this caused evil to rise up, becoming more powerful and successfully killing the other Morphin Masters, forcing them to go into hiding. So I'm guessing this is why we haven't seen the other 3.
They're dead.
Master Black, Master Gold, and Master Pink are all dead. Master Blue then says he's gonna trap Master Green and Crystal because douchebags this season were blue, until Zato's like, hey, let's do a clip show retconning dumb shit and make it make sense using the legendary Ranger database. Master Blue wasn't convinced because he's like, he kind of showed us that she broke the rules more.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you gave us reasons why we're gonna put this bitch in a crystal. So yeah, he wasn't convinced, so he tries to crystallize her, but she gets away in time and teleports the Dino Fury Rangers back to Rafcon, which ends with the planet just blowing up. After mourning their home planet for like 2 seconds, it's literally like, oh my gosh, it's gone. Okay, back to the plot.
You'd think they would have a whole moment for that. Has to move fast, I guess.
I guess we have to put in a joke about Ion not knowing barnyard animals.
See that team? Zay's too chicken to fight us himself. Moo!
Ion, that's a cow. He's still learning his earth animals.
Can we please just fight?
He's a special boy.
So they head back to Earth to fight Zed and the Voids, successfully destroying Boom Blaster before they all power up in their armored forms to fight Zed. Also, want to mention this? This is the only time Izzy gets to use one of the power-ups this season. Only time.
That's bullshit.
It is bullshit. Amelia got to use 2, and then the other boys got to use them all. So what the fuck? They made a figure of a power-up Izzy never uses.
That doesn't make sense either.
Ion attempts to use the Dino Master Saber's ultimate attack himself, but Mama Green comes in for the save, crystallizing her and Zed after a beam struggle. Gotta love a good beam struggle. Turning them into action figures.
The Zed figure literally looked like the deluxe figure from the 90s.
I think these figures were on Simon Bennett's bookshelves when he was doing interviews before. So I remember it was like, why is there a Master Green figure on there? It was the one they used here.
That's something I would want to take too.
We then cut to Dino Henge, where the Dino Fury Rangers wonder what they could do until Master Red and Master Blue arrive to the scene to save the day, releasing Master Green and admitting not interfering was wrong.
Perhaps we've been too hard on Master Green. We have to make this right.
I'm free.
Yes.
There's no doubt many Power Rangers would have fallen over the years without your intervention. We were wrong. The rule was wrong.
They also say that they'll store Zed on a secure planet.
Not secure enough.
We were talking about this when we watched it, but Master Red's voice?
Master Red's voice is very sexy.
Zato also asks if she knows if there are any other Rafcon survivors, and she's like, bitch, I ain't spoiling the season, and leaves. Okay, so on to the villain plot. After Boom Blaster Null-Eye thaw out, Scrousy informs Zed that the Sporix generation is fully operational. All while the Dino Rangers show up. They end up teleporting away before they could do anything, which causes the entire planet to blow up. Because I guess the Sporix generation was connected to the magma flow of the planet, so taking that off the planet caused it to blow up, which is probably why it's just been sitting there for 65 million years.
Yeah.
Also, not a good idea for a device. It blows up your planet if you try to unattach it.
That doesn't make sense to me. What's the science?
Power Ranger science. This is the same universe where people can breathe in space, so...
True.
They end up teleporting to Earth, conveniently in Pine Ridge, where the Voids ain't having it, while Zed tries to get them to ease up by saying he still wants to split 50-50 if they let him activate the Spork generation. But you're like, sure, why not? And they're like, I'm not in the footage. I'm gonna teleport away. You do this, honey? I'm like, alright, honey. Boom Blaster goes boom. Scrozzle runs away after some threatening running. I'm sure we'll see him again. And Zed ends up in a crystal where I'm sure he'll be for a very long time.
Totally.
On to the comedic corner. I guess the closest thing to the comedic corner this episode is some scenes with Boom Blaster and Null-Eye. They were kind of the goofballs of the episode. The first one was after they thawed out. Null-Eye suggests they hug each other for warmth.
When is that thing going to be ready? I need to warm up my circuits after the Rangers froze us.
Maybe we'd warm up faster if we hugged each other.
For the 10th time, no!
That sounds kind of gay.
It was pretty gay.
Are they a couple? Do we finally have a gay male in Power Rangers that gets blown up in like 4 episodes?
Word.
We love representation.
I feel so seen.
A villain maybe in a voice. The other one is between Void King, where he talks about Zed stealing his generals. They say,
sorry about that. He offered better vacation pay.
Don't forget dental.
You don't even have teeth.
That was so funny.
Null-Eye is such an icon.
Yeah.
On to introductions, the Dino Master Saber. A cool looking sword with a cool coat, but it kills its user, so maybe not use that when you just kill foot soldiers.
Maybe not so cool.
On to Easter eggs. We got a little clip show stuff from the Legendary Ranger database, where we get some canonically answered questions from what Master Green did. So we get 3 of them. So the first one is the Power Coin Meteor and Grid Connection. Apparently Master Green sent that. Clip number 2 was Twink Steel.
I want to give her a hug for that one. Thank you, girl.
But of course, we had to see the death scene.
Stop playing me like this.
Jesus Christ. Can you stop with the death, please? Thank you for bringing it back, but this is like the 3rd time we've seen that scene this fucking season.
Trauma.
We also see Izzy's reaction to this because she's a little Steel fangirl and she got really excited to see Steel be a ranger.
Wait a second. Steel Silva? He's the star of Kung Fugitive! That's my favorite show! Oh, sorry. Off topic.
That was cute.
And the biggest one was apparently the Rangers that came back for Legendary Battle. That was all Master Green. She sent all the Rangers to Harwood County to fight foot soldiers because she knows the Megaforce Rangers can't handle that.
All these things didn't really make a lot of sense, so they're just adding to the lore.
Which is good, I guess, but don't rely too much on it.
Master Green did everything that we can't explain.
That makes it a little too easy. She didn't do everything, but these 3 are canonically things because the little gold ball teleportation at the end Legendary Battle, that's the same teleportation effect they use when she teleports the Rangers from Rafcon and back to Rafcon.
Mm-hmm.
Also, someone asks, there were more times she interviewed, and she was like, oh, yes. Implying that she had more to do, so I'm assuming she brought back Kendricks.
Probably.
Highlights and quote. Null-Eye had a good line when they got back to Pine Ridge. He said,
humans and screaming. Name a more iconic duo.
Iconic, get it?
He's got a little eye, he's a Cyclops. Void King is an honest to goodness wife guy, but not a bad wife guy. He volunteers to fight the Rangers all while complimenting her and shit. And she's like, sure, okay, yeah, whatever. And he made sure to bring up the fact that he loves his wife more than he loves a good brawl. Aww.
It's because he's brainwashed to just be a simp.
Hey, don't ruin the fantasy.
He is.
They're a couple. He just loves his wife.
I know they love each other, but girl, he's brainwashed right now.
I don't want to be a bad guy. And she's like, no, we're going to engage in my hobbies. killing people.
She tactically did brainwash him. She put her in their little pods, roided it up with sporks. If that isn't relationship goals, I don't know what is. Ollie gaslighting Void King when he asked where the Pink Ranger was made me laugh my ass off.
What? Where's the Pink Ranger?
Pink Ranger? We don't have a Pink Ranger, do we?
Nope.
You're losing it.
That was hilarious.
Oh god, we love some gaslighting in this house.
My favorite pastime is gaslighting Ray on a daily basis, so.
Alright, on to episode 16, where we're back to business with Wishful Thinking, aka probably my favorite filler this season.
This is probably my second favorite episode this season.
Written by Guy Langford and directed by Chris Graham. So the character focus this episode is our boy Javi.
Woo!
Yee!
So on to the civilian plot. Javi has been hustling to get some views on a cover he did by a singer named Pete Flash. Should have been Levi.
Shut up.
Austin has been hearing this from me like forever.
First of all, we watched all these episodes when they first dropped, just binged them all. I heard it then. I heard it when we rewatched it, and I'm hearing it again now.
I guess Ray wants to make sure that I hear about it because I didn't watch the episodes with y'all.
I want to tell our audience too.
They have a lot of Levi Weston Easter eggs all the time, so.
Yeah, there are Levi Weston Easter eggs in this season, but you would think they would bring him back since he lives in New Zealand.
Also, they could have asked him. He might have said no. We don't know.
That too. So yeah, he starts getting major hits thanks to a wish charm. Maybe we should get a wish charm. Shit, we could use more grenades. Anyways, which fucks up his teammates with curses until he gets talked into breaking them, losing all his viewers. How does he lose viewers?
That makes no sense, but it's magic, so.
But getting to perform with Pete Flash after Javi explains the situation. And because he's hot as fuck, let's be real.
What, you think Pete Flash wanted to slice?
Maybe. Save me a slice.
Have you fucking seen Javi? That can turn anybody bisexual.
And I hope he is too. Girl, we got 10 episodes of Cosmic Fury. Can we get one episode where he gets a little base boyfriend?
Oh my god, if there's an episode when they're on like another planet and he sees like a cute alien boy and he's like, wait, am I having feelings for this little alien boy?
I know it's a little weird because his sister's a lesbian already, but come on, make him bi or gay or something, please!
Queer siblings is a big thing. Like those gay twins that were on Ellen that were in Scream Queens and were horrible actors. Like that.
Sugar and Spice.
Yeah, totally. That's a thing.
On to Ranger plots. Ollie, Amelia, and Izzy are all cursed by the Sporks Beast of the Week, turning into items or things after wishing on the wish charms. And this was the best part of the episode.
Yes.
Javi and Izzy. So Javi wishes for 1 million views on his music video, making everyone fangirl over him, with Jane attempting to get him a meeting with Pete Flash. It backfires, however, but not on Javi. Izzy, who was holding the wish charm when Hexcurios activates the curse, turning her into a human-sized version of the T-Rex Champion Zord. It is the most unhinged thing I have ever seen on this show.
It was so fucking funny.
She kept saying these hilarious lines, like how she wondered how Fern was going to react to her becoming a Zord. Just play a little compilations of the shit she says.
I didn't know our wishes would do this.
Our wishes? I didn't make a wish. All I did was hold your stupid charm. And now look at me. I'm a robot dinosaur.
Pardon?
No offense, so on. What's Fern gonna tell people if she sees me? My girlfriend is a dinosaur? And I'm fine with that? I don't think so.
She might. She's pretty open-minded.
What should we make him yell next? Room for me in the cockpit, huh? Fine. Deploy me back to base. Well, I'm benched.
Okay, and we're back. She also fights its battles in this form because I guess the T-Rex Champion Zord had some ground footage in Roof Soldier, so I guess this was a creative way to use that stuff. Javi attempts to get out of it. Mama Khan's like, my son's not going to be an action figure forever. So he puts on his coat and then he just kills Hexcurio. Moving on to Ollie, the skeptic. He wishes for his mommy because she's all away in Japan. Good luck with that charm. He really thinks he owned that charm. Of course, she shows up right away with the curse turning her into action figure. Ollie as the action figure is fucking hilarious too, bragging how great he is. So nothing has really changed.
On the plus side, I'm limited edition. I'm worth a fortune. But I also only have 5 points of articulation.
On to Amelia, which was kind of the most boring.
Oh my god, that was stupid.
It was so underwhelming. So she wishes to see her parents, even if for a moment. But interesting enough, the Void show up right after this. I'm sure that's not related in any way.
No.
That's not gonna be anything later.
So she turned into like, I don't know, maybe like a 14 or 15-year-old girl.
Why? Like, that offered nothing.
She gets like, what, maybe 3 or 4 years younger?
I don't know. She didn't leave an impact. She didn't really have any line. The others all had such funny dialogue. She was just there.
Yeah, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna sit this out, guys. Why? Because you're a little younger? Okay. They should have turned her into like a monster or something, or a ghost.
Something more fun, like, I don't even know. It should have gave.
But then she notices something at the end. She's like, why did everyone get their wishes but me? You'll see later on, her wish technically came true, but she didn't know it. On to the villain plot. Void Queenie has released a new Sporks piece, the first in like 4 episodes, named Hexcurio, who has the ability to make anyone's wish come true with his wish charms. Deja vu, I feel like I've seen an episode of a dinosaur season with wish charms that make people's wishes come true with a caveat. But at the cost of a curse of his choosing. Mucus is the first victim of this, wishing for a fantabulous hat for the price of turning her human.
And her human look slayed. It was so cute.
And she hated being human, which is also hilarious. She was not having it.
Mucus, is that you?
Don't look at me! I'm an idiot!
She was like, ew.
This is gross. I hate this so much.
She would not sing a song about how great it is to be human.
It's great to be slime.
It's great to be a mushroom. She does use it to her invention. She pretends to be a street vendor, selling the wish charms to the Dino Fury Rangers.
Wish on a charm and your dreams will come true! These are very rare, but they're only $2 each.
Why do you talk like that?
To be dramatic?
And after all these shenanigans, Wreckmate and later Slither fights with Hexcurio to fight the Dino Fury Rangers. Slither and Hexcurio get talked into fighting after Mucus wants to break the curse because, of course, when the monster is destroyed, the curse is broken. And also she hates being human. With the boys and Izzy so stressed beating them, and little Mucus getting back to her Sporks form. She's so happy.
I'm happy for her. Good for her.
On to the comedic corner. After Javi video starts to pop off, Jane and Jayborg decide to help Javi, with Jane becoming his manager and Jayborg photographing him for publicity photos. Of course, all of her photos are messed up because comic relief, but Javi, the perfect being that he is, takes the perfect photo when he tries to catch camera that Jayborg just throws.
There's no effing way.
He's just that good.
That was crazy.
It's falling with style. Okay, so on to introductions. The Sporks piece of the week is Hexcurio, voiced by Paul Barrett, who also voiced 2 shark monsters, Megalodon, Dino Thunder, and Thresher and SPD. And we also got Dino Master Mode for Javi this episode for the first time. That's why I said he put on his coat.
You know, I don't know why. I always think of that shark monster from Dino Thunder.
Because that episode he's in is iconic. Ocean Alert.
That is a good episode.
It is a very good episode. Some highlights. Human Mucus and Izzysaurus Rex were fucking hilarious this episode. Human Mucus actually was played by her voice actress, Torm Henge, and she fucking killed it this entire episode.
She left no crumbs.
She knew the assignment and she hammed it the fuck up. Jane has a really funny moment when she's talking about making Javi a star and like chimes in and corrects her about something and she's like,
"You're gonna be a star. No, you'll be brighter than a star. You'll be like the sun."
The sun is a star.
Don't ruin the moment, kid.
I also love that the Sporks continue to call Void Queen Mommy.
I'd love to fight, but Mom says I'm too important.
If he's destroyed, then I'm cured. Give him a chance, Slither. He could be a real help.
Fine, but don't tell Mom. I mean Void Queen.
So do I.
Even Slither did it once. Speaking of Slither, though, I was happy to see him in this episode. It's kind of been a minute. He had a cute little line where he was fighting and he said, "Double and roll, double and roll." Also, Solon got to ride on the Dino Fury cycle. Neat.
That was cute.
She also called out Izzy for being mad at being a robot dinosaur since, you know, she is one, too. That's kind of awkward. Okay, so moving on to episode 17, Things Unspoken, aka the lesbian episode for this half of the season.
This one was my favorite.
Oh, yeah, this one brought the drama, honey.
Oh my god, it was so emotional.
And funnily enough, you know, all the episodes about Izzy and Firm are written by the same woman, Maya Thompson.
Oh, Oh.
Because I noticed that because she wrote the Izzy coming out quote unquote episode, she wrote the dress episode, and she wrote this episode.
Well, I think that's good. It's clear she knows the dynamic the best, so.
What also helps is there's lady writers.
I do like that.
Like I said, it was written by Maya Thompson, directed by Charlie Haskell.
Come on, Charlie!
And the character focus is, of course, Izzy and Fern.
Busy!
Okay, civilian plot. The lesbians are fighting. I don't know why I put that. I just thought it was funny. So Izzy and Fern are discussing college plans, with Fern going to the sport college in Oakdale, which is 6 whole hours away. And of course, Amelia's the one that brings us up.
Isn't Oakdale like a 6-hour drive?
Amelia, shut the fuck up. I swear to God, if I was Izzy or Fern, I would fucking slap the shit out of her.
You know that's 6 hours away, right?
Time and place. You're causing issues between the couple.
This episode isn't about me, so I'm gonna make it terrible for you. No, JK, I like Amelia, but just fun to just do little jabs at her.
No, I love Amelia. Come on.
I don't want anyone to think we hate Amelia, because I like Amelia. It's just fun to like jab at her when she does something stupid like this.
We jab at everyone here. Equal jabbing opportunities for all.
Okay, back to the Ranger plots. We assume Izzy's gonna go to this college too, but then she's like, I don't know. And then of course her dad is hyper fixated on this the whole episode.
We're back at it again. What were we calling him before?
D-Bag Garcia.
Back to that. D-Bag Garcia. He's back.
But he's also in this episode because he's got to subtly mention a key for a drill he's using. This is important. But of course, like I said, Izzy's deflecting until she reveals she did get an acceptance letter, but she's hesitant to go since, you know, she's a Power Ranger and the villains are attacking this certain city and only this certain city. They attack Japan next episode, but whatever. Anyways, we get some drama from Fern, who's wondering why Izzy's lying to her.
What else aren't you telling me?
No, it's not like that. I promise.
I'm sorry. I just don't know if I can be with someone who isn't honest with me.
Please. Fern!
And of course, her dad makes it about him.
I just called Oakdale College to find out why they didn't select you for their sports program.
Oh, you did, huh?
Can you guess what they told me? They said they did select you, but you said no.
No? Seriously?
I was going to tell you.
Why would you turn them down? We've been working towards this since your very first competition.
I know. There's just... I've got a lot going on. I don't think it's the right time for me, and...
This isn't like you at all, especially the secrets.
I'm sorry.
It's your mom calling. Oh man, what is she gonna think?
Until he gets blasted in the leg, then I guess he snaps out of it. We then get the fight, of course, until we get all tropey, with Izzy trying to catch up to Fern before the bus leaves. She's not driving that bus, though, or she's gonna be in jail. He had a gun!
What? You gotta be kidding me.
She succeeds and says she loves her, too.
I love you, too.
You do? Wait. What do you mean, too? I never told you, or anyone, except... I love her. I do. I haven't even said that out loud to her yet. Except the Green Ranger. It's you, you're the...
If I was a Power Ranger, I couldn't tell anyone. Top secret.
And a ranger couldn't join an elite sports program because they'd be way too busy protecting the entire city. Piloting Megazords being awesome.
That would be a tough call if I was a ranger.
Which is something we'll talk about in the Ranger plot. Things click together, and then they decide to stay together long distance. So the lesbians aren't fighting anymore.
Good for the lesbians.
Good for them.
But you know who is fighting? The Dino Fury Rangers in the Ranger plot against the Speedy Monster. But Izzy's not fighting the Speedy Monster. She's fighting poor little baby Mucus.
You leave her alone.
She also comes in contact with Fern while she's more. Fern's all like worried about Izzy because she's not answering since she's busy doing Ranger things right there.
That was so cute.
So Fern gets super chatty, like she's a fucking open book to this person that she just met. She's like, I love my girlfriend, to the Green Ranger.
I mean, it's easier to admit serious stuff to someone you don't know.
Who has just so happens to be the person she's talking about. How convenient.
I love that.
So that comes back later when Izzy says she loves her 2, because then she remembers she only said that the Green Ranger, so they're like, wink, 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 wink. Don't say anything, but of course you know everything. Wink, 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 wink. And she's not screaming it out loud like Kaylee did when she found out that Chase was the Black Ranger.
Chase? You're the Black Ranger?
Hey everybody, the Dinobot! He's a Power Ranger! So Fern knows Izzy's a Ranger. Aren't you glad, guys? A civilian finding out someone's a Ranger, that never leads to anything, right?
Well, it didn't in Dino Charge.
Okay, so onto the villain plot. Mucus and the Spork Beast of the Week, Quickspine, attacks Pine Ridge, with Quickspine outdoing them in speed. But fighting the Dino Fury Rangers wasn't the goal of this episode. It was to get the key Warden Garcia subtly mentioned before the baddies teleported in. So they teleport out when they can't find Warden Garcia. Then the Voids grill them back at Area 62, ordering them to get the key, which they succeed at, even when Quickspine is defeated. His little eggy just coughs it up when Void Queenie catches it. So yeah, they fight a Spork Beast and stuff, and it's like too fast, whatever, who cares. On to the comedic corner. Izzy is teaching an online exercise class at Buzz Blast, while Jane attempts to do it too, but of course there's a glitch, and it's all like funny hilarity ensues. Mucus was also a cornball this episode. She was calling out a French mime for talking.
Should be around here.
Ranger hotline?
Hey, mimes don't talk. You're a phony.
And she also calls the henchmen hengies.
That was so cute.
I kept calling them hengies in the notes after this. Introductions this week. The Sporks Beast of the Week, Quickspine, voiced by Paul Waggett. He also played a judge in Winning Attitude, another Izzy and Fern episode. The first one, actually.
A judge?
Fern was introduced in an episode where they're like competitors and they're like rivals.
He was just a judge of the run?
Yeah. Izzy and Fern is enemies to lovers.
That's true.
On to Easter eggs. The Pine Ridge bus station has a list of Power Ranger cities on a map. We see Coral Harbor, Beast Morphers Town, Summer Cove, Ninja Steel. Also Amber Beach from Dino Charge.
That's right. It's me.
It's Amber's Beach.
If you think about it, multiverses, there's multiple versions of that character across the multiverse. So I'm assuming that works the same way as like a town. It's just an Easter egg.
I know it's not like the most uncommon name, but it's like, geez, does this bus have interdimensional traveler?
They couldn't use the Samurai Town, whatever that's called.
Panorama City?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, they name other towns later on in the season. They named paints after them, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, they did. That was a little forced, but...
Fern says, may the power protect you.
That was so cute.
I don't know how she says it, but it was cute.
I don't care.
Let her be, okay? They were ready to move in with each other. That's how lesbians work. After the first date, they were ready to fucking pack up the U-Haul and let's go.
Yeah, this is their third focus episode. I'm surprised they're not lesbian bed death by now.
They got some cats.
Plural.
That's lesbian culture right there.
Go to Home Depot every weekend. All right, we're going too far to stereotypes.
We're gay. We're allowed to talk about stereotypes.
And I can't wait for the first male gay, and then we can talk about he's a drag queen.
Oh my god, we're gonna have a fucking field day.
Okay, moving on to highlights and quotes. The lesbians, of course, were on point this episode. We got some drama and some great acting from the two, especially Tessa Rowe. Because damn, she had some hard emotions, especially was talking to her friends about it.
That was sad. And honestly, the actress who plays Fern, the scene where she was talking to the Green Ranger, she was great in as well.
Jacqueline Joe, I think her name is, yeah.
And she ate.
They're so good. That's some really good casting.
We, of course, got our happy ending, and it got me in the feels. I just love how they're treating this relationship, too.
It is like the best written relationship in this show ever, probably.
And this season was nominated for a GLAAD Award, so I hope they win it again.
They won for the first season, right?
Yeah, they did.
I think they should win it for this season because there's more.
Yeah, they actually got to do stuff.
This season had 2 episodes, and they were both great.
Mm-hmm. The prom episode was so good.
Ion tells the monster,
"Stay still! I'm trying to blast you!"
Mucus also calls the Voids the greatest king and queen that ever lived. Agreed.
Girl, not in the franchise that has Queen Banshira. Period.
And Queen Machina.
No, these other queens ain't got shit on Queen Banshira, okay?
And the great Queen Warrior Bizarra from United We Stand.
Oh, right. Can't forget her.
Trakina was a queen.
They don't call her Queen Trakina, though. It's not part of her namesake.
Are we forgetting Astronema? She was the queen of all evil.
She's not just evil, she's the queen of evil. Zato asks Solon to...
Solon, can you send some Zord vibes our way?
Deploying vibes.
What is a Zord vibe?
I don't know, but I love it.
Ollie calls Void King and Void Queen the Voids, which I love, and gets shed on for it.
Why would the Voids want the key?
You call them the Voids?
It's kind of catchy, right? It's like a band. An evil band.
Shut up, Ion. You were laughing your ass at that stupid humor episode.
He has no room to talk. He has no room to talk. The Void is a great name. You shut your mouth. Okay, so before we do episode 18, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll see you when we come back.
Greetings, this is Davi Santos, also known as Sir Ivan of Xandar from Power Rangers Dino Charge, and you're listening to The Grid. For those of you who don't know, The Grid is a Power Rangers universe of a podcast available on all the different platforms. It covers basically every subject from the graphic novels to the episodes. You and the team are so passionate, it only makes sense that Power Rangers fans know about this and that they can enjoy it. Dino Charger ready!
And we're back talking about episode 18, Guilt Trip, written by Maya Thompson, directed by Charlie Heskel. And this episode is focused on Ali and his mama. Your silence is deafening.
I was hoping so.
Civilian plot is Ali and Mealy are doing heterosexual things. Stop rubbing it in our faces.
I'm okay with it when it's not forced down my throat.
It's fine, I just don't want to see it.
So they want to go to a haunted hotel, with Ali actually supporting her hyperfixation for once and not being a douchebag. However, he is a douchebag when his mom calls him, because he treats her like shit the whole episode.
God, he's just a dick.
He just moved all the douchiness he did with Amelia the whole scene and just moved it to his mom.
That's your mom. If I talked to my mom the way he talks to his mom, I'd get slapped across the face.
Yeah, my mom would whip my ass and I'm like a foot taller than her. So yeah, he flakes on doing work for her, and I'm assuming he's getting paid for this. Ghosting her calls. He even sends Ion in his place when she asks him to check on a sporks beast attack in Japan.
Why would a sporks beast be all the way in Japan?
Good question. Dr. Arcano was hoping you could help her check it out.
Me? But I got plans.
Hey, we can postpone our trip.
Japan, huh? Man, the food there is super great.
Great food? In a cool new country? Why wouldn't you go?
Well, Amelia and I have this big date night planned. Hey, why don't you go instead?
You don't have to, Ion.
Are you kidding? I'll definitely go. I love ramen, sashimi, and miso soup. I think.
And yells at her when she calls him out on his behavior.
What is it, Mom?
Is everything okay? You've been kind of hard to pin down lately.
What? No, I haven't.
You used to call me every day. Now it's like tumbleweeds. You dodge my calls, too.
Well, things are different now. I've got a girlfriend.
I know, and she's fantastic. I'm just asking you to be honest about that instead of trying to avoid me, which includes following through on your commitments.
What commitments?
The excavation simulations you sent me, they were incorrect. Your data input didn't account for rainfall like I asked.
So you don't like my work now?
I'm not saying that.
It sure sounds like it. But here's a solution. Let's not work together anymore.
What a little bitch this episode. I still love him, but Jesus. He does learn his lesson after Amelia, who guilt trips him for having a mom, since their mom says, like, at least you have a mom. My mom's dead. And one of Dr. Akana's colleagues talks to him about how important it is that Ollie gets his work right, so they can get their project started and they can get paid. Ollie then apologizes to his mommy, promising to find a better balance with his mommy and girlfriend, and also invites her on their little ghost hunt. So respect F your mother!
Well, yeah, you don't gotta tell me that, bitch.
So onto the Ranger plot, the Dino Fury Rangers gets words of a Sporks Beast attack in Osaka, Japan. So Ollie manipulates Ion to go in his place by talking about food, because Ion's a foodie.
That's like his only character trait, pretty much.
I mean, same.
Can't blame him.
After what I assume is a food date with Ollie's mom, Ion crosses path with the Sporks Beast, Sugar Pit, whose power are desserts! Just throwing desserts.
And this is where I would just take like a net and catch shit.
Also, it's kind of weird to think about this monster's ability, because he was made by an alien race from 65 million years ago. What was the concept here? We can defeat evil foes with the monster that throws pies at people. Genius!
Don't think about it too much.
This is also the same universe where Koda's tribe catched a monster that had an ice cream cone for an arm, so I really shouldn't be thinking about this too hard.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. Typical.
Typical Ray. But yeah, desserts, so that's right in Power Rangers wheelhouse. You love to get messy up in here. Speaking of messy, let's talk about the villains. The Voids, who have gotten a key from Warren Garcia last episode, initiate the next step in their plans, which is to distract the Dino Fury Rangers in Japan!
Throw up your hands, having fun in Japan. Just fun, 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 fun!
While Void King, Wreckmate, and Slider uses the key to initiate a giant fucking drill, which they intend on using to break into Dino Hinge to steal the Sporks. Also, the use of a giant drill for your endgame? Brock would be proud. How many fucking drills? That's a throwback. Unfortunately, the drill doesn't work, which Wreckmate and Slider hilariously have a snarky reaction to.
Let's fire this up and set course for the Sporix, the ultimate buried treasure.
It's genius! This plan can't fail, but I'll, let you do the honors. Master, the plan has failed.
Oi, it's definitely run aground.
Apologies!
Is this funny? Do either of you see me laughing? This key not working means we're back to square one!
Onto the comedic corner. Desserts! Desserts. Lots of fun funnies coming from desserts, because the Spork Beast of the Week likes to throw pies and cakes and pavlova at people.
Pavlova in Japan.
Dr. Akana gets some whipped cream on her jacket before all this is going down, which kind of looks like bird poop. Blech. And she licks it too. She's like,
Ew.
Yeah, she's like, it's whipped cream, guys. Jeez.
Well, if I walked by seeing that out of context, I'd have been like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is going on in here on this day?
Maybe I should just tweet a screen cap with no context, see how people react. Ion gets hit with a meringue. Dr. Akana dodges a pie. Mucus falls into a sponge cake. Void Mommy adorably tells Mucus to clean herself up. She's a good mommy.
Mm-hmm.
The Hengies also have a fun little moment where, like, taking selfies in front of little buildings and stuff. They're tourists.
I loved that. I love goofy foot soldiers so much.
So let's talk about introductions this episode. Our Sporks Beast of the Week is Sugar Hit, voiced by Richard Dempson, voiced Ragnarok and Dino Fury, Galvanax and Ninja Steel, and Keeper and Dino Charge.
Word. Everyone hates Keeper, I guess, all of a sudden.
Even Simon Bennett.
That was discourse, yeah. He started that.
A little useless, so.
I like Keeper, though. I like Keeper.
I like Keeper as a character, but that suit should have been Xenowing. We all know it.
I know. We got less of Xenowing because of it.
You didn't need to create two characters for the same job, mama.
Word to your mother.
Moving on to Easter egg. The haunted hotel Alia and Amelia go to, the Stein Hotel, is in Coral Harbor, aka Beast Morpher Town.
Stein, R.L. Stein. Get it?
Well, that's Goosebumps, right? Yeah. Name a theme song that goes harder, honestly. Even if the episode sucked, you could pop your pussy to that theme song for 5 seconds.
You really could, fucking for real.
Alright, moving on to highlights and quotes. There's a funny scene where Ion eats some takoyaki on his food date with Dr. Akana, and he goes,
And I tweeted that, by the way.
There's some cute back and forth with Mucus and Javi about fiber.
Aww!
Not this time, Mushroom.
But I wanted his pies for breakfast. Guess it's back to bran flakes for Mucus.
Say what you want about Mucus, but I'm glad she's getting her fiber. It's important.
You'd know.
The end of the episode is pretty cute. The Rafcon boys and the Garcia Sips are just being fat asses and have lists of Japanese food to test out.
You need some brain food, and we're in Foodtopia, so you go get started. We'll be right back. This is a chance for me to check off a few things from my Japanese food list. Let's see. Mochi, Oden, ramen.
Coincidence, I have a list too.
This was just in case I got hungry.
Well, as team leader, I say, it's ramen time!
Me when I pull out my 50-cent pack of Top Ramen. My last note on this episode, you kept saying the monster's name Sugar Hit. I thought you were saying Sugar Pit. That's all.
Episode 19, Bad Vibes.
The plot is here, mama.
Bad vibe! Bad vibe!
Written by Johnny Hartman and directed by Charlie Haskell. And of course, the character focus is the Garcia fam, because this is all about them. So the civilian plot, after Warden Garcia gets home from chump drilling, Mama Garcia reminds the Sibs about their annual karaoke party to their frustration. We also learn that karaoke was how they first bonded, since the Garcias are a blended familia. So after some water hose shenanigans with Papa, Mom and Dad suggest they come up with something else, with them asking their teammates for suggestions, with Ion suggesting they do something they did on Rafcon, and Zeto's like,
here's a fun family activity.
Let's hear it.
Every harvest, my family went tree climbing on Blarka.
What is Blorka?
Was an island on Rafcon. Very pretty. Trees a mile high. But it got ravaged by Sporix.
And destroyed by Zed. Thanks, Ion.
way to be a downer, Zato. Jesus. I know I was saying like it should have hit you harder, but here?
Time and place.
So after turning evil, yeah, they turn evil. We'll talk about it in the Ranger plot. They are used as a distraction so the Voids can do their thing, backtracking on doing karaoke to distract their parents long enough with the family bonding, breaking the evil influence over them. You get a little cool little montage of them being supportive. Aw, we love the Garcia fam up in here.
They are pretty cute.
Especially after Warren Garcia stuff being a douchebag.
It still creeps in there, though.
From time to time, but he's generally more supportive of his children.
Yes.
Javi, really.
But the events while they were evil are conveniently erased from their minds. And I guess they're okay with karaoke now, because they were just vibing karaoke after their evil spell was taken off of them. Moving on to the Ranger plot, the Garcia Sibs are turned evil thanks to a device made by Void King, with them first being used as insiders to get the sporks from inside Dinohens, but that fails. So then they use Plan Bs to get the passcode for the drill that's been so important the past couple episodes, succeeding when they get it out of their father, which is 0312.
Here we go.
(0312) March 12th. That's today.
0312.
You're using our family day as your passcode? Aw, that's so sweet.
While the other Dino Fury Rangers fight Nulleye and the Sporks Beast of the Week named Clawfair. They succeed in destroying both of them, but end up losing all the Sporks in Dino Henge when Void King breaks and attacks Solon, who was distracted by a crossword puzzle. I guess that'll do that to you. Those are so distracting.
I guess so, shit.
Can we upgrade the security Dino Henge and Cosmic? Cause Jesus Christ, what is this, the 6th time someone broke in?
Yeah, for real.
On to the villain plot. Void King is being a good hubby to his wifey and presents to her a Sporks blaster.
Because you've been so bad, my queen, I've brought you a gift.
Flowers, jewelry, a chihuahua.
Even better, a new weapon.
Oh, now that is romantic.
This is the Sporix Blaster, charged with some Sporix energy from our machine. Remember what it did for us?
One energy burst took you from tortured traitor to exquisite evil. This has potential.
A device charged with Sporks energy to turn the Dino Fury Rangers evil.
Evil!
Wreckmate is sent as distraction. Matey! Arg.
Beep beep beep.
Arr. Boop 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 boop. Ahoy, matey.
Beep beep.
For that, you walk the plank.
While Nulleye literally just jumps off the side of a building and blasts the Garcia Sibs, turning them evil. They then present themselves to Void Queen, who is loving this as much as we are.
We tried to steal the Sporks, my queen, but the Rangers stopped us.
Please forgive us.
They really are on our side.
Superb!
These sporks are my precious children. You'll find a way to bring them home. Don't let me down like everyone else.
To be fair, we've struggled because the Strill key turned out to be a dud.
No, it'll work. You just need the warden's passcode to go with it.
A passcode? How are we supposed to find that out?
Leave it to us, my queen.
I love this.
Onto the comedic corner, Jane overhears the Garcia Sips talking about karaoke and decides to host a karaoke party. So of course, hilarity ensues with them, making awkward puns and whatnot. Nikas was also a cornball this episode when she was trying to remember the passcode to the duel, which was so hard, 4 whole numbers.
Aww.
Onto Abduction. Spore speaks to the wig, Clawfair, voiced by Andy Faulkner, who voiced Deadwood in Dino Thunder, and Typeface in Super Ninja Steel. We also have 2 new power-ups that have been not used by these rangers before. So Amelia uses the Smash Battle Armor, and Zato uses the Dino Master Mode for the first time. What was that?
Sorry.
I swear to God, Austin! I swear to God, I will end you! I'm kidding.
You're like Megan, you're gonna rip my fucking head off my neck.
So no Easter eggs, but we do have some highlights and quotes. Warden Garcia calls Void Queen Void Queenie.
Well, any issues after your key got stolen?
Nope. This new one's doing the trick. And besides, it's no use without my passcode. So no way Void Queenie, or whatever the kids are calling her, is gonna get her mitts on it.
Which made me exclusively call her that ever since, so that's why I've been calling her Void Queenie this whole episode.
Queenie!
The Garcia Sibs being evil? Oh my god.
They were so hot.
That's bisexual rights right there.
Oh yes. I think the quote is "Be gay, do crimes." Is that the quote?
Yeah, something like that.
They really hammed it up this episode, putting on evil voices with Void Queenie and being over the top while trying to act like themselves. Also, Javi's evil voice.
Mr. Krabs.
Basement is flooded.
Gotta go freshen up the downstairs.
I liked that Zato got to shade Wreckmate with his pirate puns. Like,
run, landlubbers, before I make ye walk the plank.
What plank?
The famous pirate punishment from the movie.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Every day for him is Talk Like a Pirate Day.
We get it.
This is where No Eye dies.
No!
No! He was in 4 episodes, one of which he didn't talk, so 3 episodes, and he left such a big impression.
He was hilarious.
He had some good quotes, like in this episode, before he was destroyed, he said,
"Well, I had a good run."
Yes, you did, baby.
He just wanted to get his steps in for the day, damn it, you didn't have to kill him.
Just trying to get his steps in for the day. Fuck. What an asshole.
Speaking of a pun, Amelia had the greatest pun to come out of Power Rangers. She said to Clawfair,
"That coat makes you look like a doctor."
Oh, girl, you got him.
Snatch his whole fucking wig.
Ollie did the most heinous thing he's done all season. He shaded Void Queen's dress.
Don't even joke about that, Ollie.
Yeah, that dress is like the best thing that came out of Tokyo.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here, man.
Okay, so on to episode 20. The Invasion. Written by Guy Langford, Cameron Dixon, and No Eye himself, Steve McCleary, and directed by Craig Wilson.
This had 3 writers? Damn.
I know, which is kind of weird because a lot of this episode was fight.
Yeah.
So the character focus is the Rafconians onto the civilian and ranger plot. After getting all their sporks stolen from Void King, unidentified ships begin to land around Pine Ridge, which are later revealed to be Rafconian ships. We meet a group of them, mostly masked, except for a female Rafconian named Aurea, who is fierce. Gotta love that blue hair streak. After Zato tests to see if Aurea is legit, because we've been down this road before with Slither, remember that?
No.
Yes.
Thank you, Amber. You could have just said yes, Austin, damn it.
You think I'm gonna remember something?
You got goldfish brain, I don't blame you. Aurea catches the Dino Fury Rangers on what they've missed on Rafcon the past 65 million years. Apparently, the surviving Rafconians hid Rafcon somehow and became nomads and scavengers to help rebuild Rafcon to its former glory. After catching both sides up on recent event, Aurea's like, hey, thanks for the invite to Earth. We're gonna take it over and slave its people because humans are trash.
I think this planet might be the home our people need.
Humans and Rafconians living together?
Sharing is the Rafcon way.
You think they'd share their home? Humans take their planet for granted, poisoning it, fighting amongst themselves. What a tragic waste.
That's not exactly...
They're greedy and selfish and incapable of working together. They would never choose to help us. If we need this place, we have to take it.
These vibes aren't good.
What are you getting at?
This planet deserves better. Under our leadership, the humans could be controlled, and the Earth could thrive once more.
You want to colonize Earth?
Now the vibes are terrible.
The humans are not as bad as you think.
The Knights of Rafcon are sworn to help their people. Or are our legends wrong?
There is nothing honorable or knightly about taking someone else's home for yourself.
It is not the Rafcon way. Maybe you're the selfish ones.
The decision is already made. Join us, or it will end badly for you.
So yeah, the two sides are not having it. They're about to fight in Dino Hinge. Until Void Queenie releases all the sporks beasts around Pine Ridge, with the twos being like, okay, truce. Let's do some fighting! While this is going down, however, Oreo witnesses humans helping each other, with Pop-Pop in particular saving Oreo from a sporks beast. I guess that makes Oreo think that not all humans are trash, I guess.
The man just saved me.
You still want to take us home?
Maybe I was wrong about the humans. They're not what I expected. They were out here today, planting trees.
Huh. Yeah, they surprise me every day. We can all help each other.
You might be right.
The evacuation is taking too long. The warden is asking for help.
My people will do what we can.
Thank you.
It's the Rafcon way.
Immediately just resolving that.
I'll talk about this later. Comparing her to another character that had the same kind of story, I feel like this is handled better than that, but we'll get to that in a minute. But speaking of Pop-Pop, he gets injured, and Amelia just subtly reveals her identity to him, taking off her helmet, giving us like the only helmetless shot this whole season, and teleports him to Dino Hinge to heal. With Pop-Pop revealing some facts that her parents were aliens in prison in Area 62 before the episode ends, what it seems to be like Pop-Pop dying.
Oh no.
Alright, on to the villain plot. Void Queenie, who finally has every single sporks, releases them all across Pine Ridge, having them attack different parts of Pine Ridge in teams.
Work.
I love when they just whip out all their monster suits for like multiple attacks. That's like my bread and butter. I love when they did it in Ninja Storm. I loved when they did it in
hard.
Jungle Fury. I love it. I love it when they did it in Countdown to Destruction. What, Amber?
You were just going. I was like, it makes your nipples hard.
Okay, sure. One team includes a new sporks beast named Crash Flood, who eventually grows in order to break a dam to flood Pine Ridge for Void Queenie, fighting and getting stopped by the Dino Fury Rangers, while the Rafcon boys fight Wreckmate. Arg.
Kill that bitch already.
Crash Flood ends up failing, but Void Queenie still loves her baby very much. She even says that.
Oh, don't worry, darling. I still love you very much.
And the battle continues into the next episode. Comedic corner. Jane had a moment at the beginning of the episode where she calls Amelia about the aliens, where she says,
I need your up-close eyewitness account. If they say, take me to your leader, bring them to me. But if it turns out they're evil, just take a message.
Pop-Pop is of course a goofy goober. He fights the sporks beast with the greatest weapon possible, a shovel.
Classic. Can't go wrong with a shovel.
Mucus wanted water wings because she doesn't want to drown.
That's a valid point.
Some introductions. Aurea, the Rafcon warrior, played by Brooke Peterson, who was also in Dino Charge. She played a cyclist.
A cyclist? Oh my god. Brooke, girl. I see you, Brooke.
I actually looked at the episode. She's in World Famous in New Zealand, and it's her. She just has blonde hair instead of brown hair. The sporks beast of the week, at least new ones anyways, because like Smash Bros, everybody is here. Crash Flood. He's voiced by Dallas Barnett, who's voiced a few monsters in the past. Voiced Metropolis in Ninja Storm, the Magnetron in Dino Thunder, Megahorn in Mystic Force, and Dumbbelltron in Beast Morphers.
It's convenient his name is Crash Flood, and he was gonna flood the dam.
Aren't all monsters just convenient monster names? Ninja, who is he? Hunter, what does he do? I kind of feel bad for the sporks beast of the week because he tried to have like a personality and stuff, talked about himself, but everyone was like, who cares? Especially Izzy.
The Rangers have some new friends, but so do we. Meet Crash Flood.
We'll skip the formalities.
I practiced a speech!
Some Easter eggs. Javi name dropped Zed, Galvanax, and Venjix when the Rafcon ship lands. People sure think Galvanax was more menacing than he actually was. Jesus.
Galvanax didn't do shit.
I know, but apparently people think he was cool enough to name drop all the time when we got to talk about villains.
What I still don't understand about Ninja Steel is Galvanax was like the champion of Galaxy Warriors, but what do you do to become the new champion? I don't understand.
He's just a
the
punk ass
Rangers,
bitch.
I guess?
But he didn't defeat Rangers.
How did he become champion in the first place? Or did he just make the show and say he is the champion? Did he raise up the ranks?
He also just had that little champion belt, but there was nothing on it until the finale of season 1 where he took the Power Star. So I'm just like,
if you beat the Rangers, do you get to fight Galvanax for champion? Or is it like a legacy thing where it's like he's the second champion?
I don't know.
It's Ninja Steel. It's confusing. Shocker.
I started to ramble.
I'm like, why are we talking about Ninja Steel? Is objectively not great.
All right, let's talk about some highlights and quotes. When Zato asks Ori about her ignoring his call, Izzy says,
"Here on Earth, it's a little rude to leave someone on red."
Also, Zato's really trying to make the Rafcon way happen this episode.
Sharing is the Rafcon way.
It is not the Rafcon way.
It's the Rafcon way.
I get it, writers. You watched Mandalorian. Slather says,
I do love a grand finale.
It was really cool seeing all these old monsters come back. Some had little cute references, like one of the Stone Triplets were wondering where his brothers were. And the fight choreo of this episode was mwah, which makes me hopeful for Cosmic Fury getting all that original footage.
This season, like that shit on the roof.
Oh yeah, that was slay.
That was so fucking sick. I was like, what the fuck?
And like the POV shot of that monster fighting the Rangers.
Let the stunt people just be absolutely fucking insane, please.
I hear meowing.
It's not mine.
What do you want? It's a fucking mouthing little shit.
Yeah, she's got some attitude.
So let's talk about Oria's quick redemption.
It was so quick.
It was so fast.
They should have introduced this like 2 or 3 episodes ago. That feels like the kind of thing that would be an arc.
We shouldn't have had the filler because we had stuff we probably could have introduced a little bit sooner or introduced it in the filler.
Or maybe she sees these things and doesn't admit that humanity is trash until the end.
Even just one more episode, they could have showed up at the end of one episode and then the next episode is about her being like, we're going to take over the planet. And then by the end of that second episode, they're like, actually, just kidding.
But I do think comparing her to Princess Vieira makes sense because she kind of had a similar plot. But unlike Oria, she was a literal dictator.
In the name of the Lion Galaxy, Lord Trillion and I will destroy the Power Rangers, as I will all enemies of my kingdom. I will not fail.
I belong to a family that enslaved people. Her family literally sold Mick to Galvanax when he was a kid.
And we don't talk about that enough, I don't think.
We really don't, because Vieira had to do a lot of work to undo that a little bit.
Yeah, her redemption goes way too quick. She goes to Earth, has Julian fight the Rangers, and then she's completely changes her whole mindset after one little thing. Sarah saves her from falling off a building and is like, my whole life view has changed after this one little event. And I'm like, really?
I was sent here to prove my strength by destroying you and your fellow Rangers. But you've shown me that kindness can be just as powerful.
Forgive me if I don't just jump in and believe every word you say.
Girl, if I was falling from a building, okay, and Sarah is the one to catch me, I would jump out of her arms and hit the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fucking eat myself into the cement.
Anyone else on that team, I'd be like, my hero.
Yeah, but honestly, Oria did this for her people. She wasn't evil. So I can give it a little leeway, but it could have used maybe another episode or 2.
Yeah, it definitely could have.
With Vieira, it was way too fast. And maybe we could correct that. Maybe see her in Cosmic Fury. Because I'm sure they're going to go to the Lion Galaxy in an episode.
Well, they have to. Aren't they getting Kelson?
Yeah, he didn't say he was coming back.
Or he's rumored, yeah.
Yeah, he's rumored to be on it. Lastly, Tudor boot the Rafcon Warriors armor.
Boot.
Boot, really?
No hesitation. They look like motocross gear, girl. It's trash, mama.
I bet you needed a helmet, though, because it looked like that fucking neck piece looked like it was gonna be a helmet.
Moving on to episode 21, our penultimate episode, The Truth. Written by Alwyn Dale and Becca Barnes, and directed by Pookie himself, Simon Bennett.
Pookie.
I'm telling you what, these titles are starting to sound like fucking Animorphs.
Amelia grows antenna this episode, so... Character focus, Amelia, civilian plot. Coming back from the last episode, Pop-Up is dying, y'all, and after dropping that Amelia was a little alien baby, she tries to get Pop-Up to stop dying. Stop dying, you son of a bitch, and spill the tea! Shaking him until she gets a vision of the past. seeing a young Pop-Pop who's just a janitor getting handed a young Amelia by her parents, who are hidden in the shadows, but we can totally see them. Like, they didn't hide that at all. So yeah, Pop-Pop gets handed a young Amelia by her parents. So he starts yeeting out of Area 62 because I guess there's some like nuclear things happening. So things explode. He thinks her parents are dead. They think he died and Amelia's dead. So they both think they're dead. Pop-Up calls her Nugget and promises to take care of her. Aww. And I'm not sure if this was ever talked about, but this also reveals that Pop-Pop's not biologically related to Amelia.
No shit!
What? Oh my god.
It was never mentioned this whole season that she was adopted.
They're led to assume that it is her grandfather. That was them trying to hide.
Yeah, he was hiding it.
They were like, oh yeah, this janitor suddenly adopted a kid. It doesn't sound as believable. It's like, oh, my actual children passed away in an accident. Here's my actual granddaughter.
It's too on the nose. I'm glad they didn't say that either, because sometimes Power Rangers likes to spoon feed us.
Well, they showed us. They showed the vision. We didn't need that to be told to us.
Earlier in the season, like when she started talking about her parents, she didn't say she was adopted.
They didn't need to mention it.
I'm glad they're letting their audience actually put shit together. So good on you, Power Rangers, Dino Fury. She then grows antenna, revealing that she is a Rafconian.
And you know what? The first clue would have been that she was touching Pop-Pop and got a vision, which that just went right over my fucking head.
It really did.
It didn't me.
Shut up, Ray. You're like, girl, I called that.
Let's be real here. The second Pop-Pop said,
when Amelia was a baby, her parents were lost in some pretty mysterious circumstances. And I promised I'd look after her if something ever happened to them.
Wow. I guess you never told her about that promise.
I'm like, okay, the lady in the tube and Void Knight are her parents.
Yeah, but did you call them being Rafconian, though? That was the goop. I was telling Austin, I was like, fully called from the very beginning. Once they even mentioned Void Knight being a dad, I was like, okay, that's Amelia. That's Amelia, 110%. But did not even suspect Rafconian. I was like, oh, it's just an alien. We've already established there's other aliens. Okay, cool, whatever.
So yeah, Amelia's Rafconian. After finding out she's Rafconian and that her parents are aliens, she's all gung-ho about finding out more about her parents. So
gung-ho. We just watched that Mighty Morphin episode.
Yeah, I wrote gung-ho in the notes. So in the middle of a citywide Sporg's Beast attack and Void Queenie wanting to kill all of them, this is the perfect time to go to Area 62 and find out about her parents. Because when is there a better time?
Well, she's the main character. So
while the Dino Furies are actually doing their job by fighting off the Sporks Beast and a giant wreckmate, Arg, Amelia goes to Area 62 to find out about her parents, fighting Slither, who is disguised as Warden Garcia, using his shape-shifting powers for the first time in God knows how long.
Amelia Jones.
Who's there?
You're trespassing.
Warden Garcia? Sorry, I know I'm not supposed to... Hold on. Aren't you supposed to be evacuating the city?
Oh, I am. I'm just on a coffee break. Underground. Without coffee. Forget this.
First of all, Slither is barely in this second half. What the fuck?
I know! That's my biggest complaint, to be honest.
Yeah. Hashtag where's Slither?
And getting her ass kicked by him until the other Rangers show up after making Wreckmate walk the plank.
Finally.
Rest in peace, matey! The Dino Fury Rangers also learn that Area 62 is the villain base, and Amelia learns the real identity of her father, which we will talk about in the villain plot.
Who could it be?
I don't know. I'm talking about in the villain plot. It could be anybody. The Sporks War continues with Void Queenie using BuzzBlast livestream to reveal our ultimate plans to everybody.
Hello. Or should I say goodbye? Hope you've been enjoying my revenge, because every moment my brave beasties grow stronger with destructive power, which I will use to end all of you. Now, my sport, it is time.
She does her own stunts and her own special effects. That thing needs a close-up.
And she flashes the live stream by lifting up her dress.
That was so cunt.
And then sporks fly out.
I kind of want to do an edit with the Roxy wig reveal from Drag Race. slowly just opening for Jess, and then the Thor come out and he's like, yes, bitch!
And Michelle wags her finger. That would be funny.
So Void Queenie uses the sporks that she got out of her cooch.
Her cooter.
And it forms a cocoon around herself with the sporks. Also, the destroyed sporks going to the cocoon after they're destroyed by the Rafconian warriors or the Dino Fury Rangers, which will essentially cause the entirety of Pine Ridge to be destroyed when it hatches. So yeah, after this, Wreckmate is like, arg, matey, I'm gonna destroy y'all. But the Dino Fury Rangers is like, nah, we're gonna kill you. So he's on the chopping block.
Bye. It's like the 10th time you've died.
I am surprised he lasted this long. We thought he was dead after one episode last season, and then he came back in like episode 3, I think, of this season, and he's just been around this whole season, pushing out his pyre puns every time he can. I appreciate the hustle, though. So Slider also gets some action before disappearing to unknown parts. Bye, King. After Slider exits, the Dino Fury Rangers are just walking around Area 62 until Void King traps Amelia in her own spook snare, but not before Amelia grabs him, and she gets a vision from him, where we learn that Tarek is Amelia's father!
You saw my memories. I saw yours. My child. The explosion. You were lost. But you were here. All along.
Pop kept his promise and loved me like I was his own, but I've spent my entire life searching for my parents.
You found us.
What's happening? Is that Spork's energy?
All the hate. The anger. It's gone. I feel like myself.
I have to say it. Hashtag recalled it.
I'm gonna punch you in the throat.
Okay, so yeah, Tarek's Amelia's father. So we go into Backstoryville, where we learn that Tarek and Centura were 2 Rafconian scavengers that crashed on Earth and were found by Area 62. They get imprisoned by Area 62 higher-ups, because the government, because humans are trash, and they trap them for God knows how long, until a day where I guess an experiment goes wrong, causing the base to be evacuated. And then we see the whole flashback thing from Tarek's point of view, where Tarek gives a young pop-up their baby before Santora is injured by some falling rubble. And then we get the explosion, so Santora assumes her baby is dead from the explosion.
Oh, baby. Did she?
They couldn't have survived that. No one could have.
The humans did this. They must pay.
That's sad.
Yeah, very sad. And oh my god, the music!
Oh, the music is epic.
There's literally like a chorus singing in the background. And then she's like, humanity is trash, and I'm gonna make them pay for killing my daughter.
Period. I support this, yeah.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss.
So this is where all the pieces come together. Tarek puts Santora in her stasis pod and finds all his swag. It's S&M loot with a Dino Knight Morpher and Key and Kiroba Fury Saber. We also see him make the Sporks machine and build his Void armor. We then cut to the beginning of the season where we get all our little hints of the Amelia reveal with the epic music. This reveal also turns Void King back into Tarek, happily reuniting with his daughter before they remember, oh yeah, we gotta stop your mom from destroying the planet. On to the comedic corner. Jane has a cute little moment while they're talking about the evacuation plan. Turn card over. We also get the Ranger hotline jingle. 5550172. The Rangers will come and help you. Poor Stan has to leave his potted plant Mr. Leafy at Buzz Blast. Hope he doesn't suffer the same fate as Spot. Rest in peace, Spot. Nikas gets to direct Void Queenie's announcement, which is always something she wanted to do, so I'm glad she did, considering it's the last thing she did before just getting destroyed and becoming a part of Void Queen's cocoon.
That had me gagging. I was like, no!
I heard you in my head when I was watching it. I was like, Austin screamed.
When we watched this the first time, literally both of us were like, no! I was channeling Cassie from Power Pink. She also says,
Trouble is what that thing is, because Void Queen's cooking up into something really... Actually, she never told us what it was, but I bet it's something really nasty, because she's the best mom ever!
Famous last words.
So some Easter eggs. Jane mentions evacuating to Coral Harbor, aka Beast Morphers Town. I kind of wish we saw some people in Red Battle Force uniforms helping in the retreat.
Would have been cool.
Hell, could have seen the Beast Morpher Rangers show up in suit, helping fight some Sporks beasts.
Those literally could have been empty suits. I don't care.
Some highlights. The Amelia reveal this episode and the whole season actually was handled really well.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a great slow burn of little pieces coming together, and I think it was so satisfying. So let's talk about those little pieces. We see Pop-Up mentioning her parents being lost under mysterious circumstances.
I mean, the second he mentioned Area 62, we knew.
I assumed maybe Pop-Up was Tarek's father or something. If you found out that Pop-Up was an alien, would you be surprised?
No.
No.
The whole Tarek and Centaur dynamic and how they talk about losing a precious thing without flat out saying they lost a kid. They just say they lost something precious to them. Very smart. Amelia wished to see her parents in the Wish Charm episode, and she thought she didn't see them, but they actually did. Pop-Up mentioned last episode that Oria's antenna looked familiar.
I didn't even catch that last one, to be honest.
We learned about Rafconian antenna this episode, learning that it's kind of a puberty thing. Ion was a late bloomer.
Oh.
Izzy got to sit in the throne in Area 62 because all the queens this season get to sit on the throne.
That was pretty cool.
That was funny. Now this is a throne.
Speaking of Area 62, I really love how important it is to the story. It's not just some random ship or cave or building. It's important to what happens to the characters.
I feel like this is one of and correct me if I'm wrong, because I probably will be. I cannot think of another instance where the villain base related so much to the plot and was actually important.
Maybe the Moon Palace, because the Moon Palace had the cave with the Zeo crystal underneath it.
Sure. That's the only other one?
The cryo prison, I guess.
That affected the plot, yeah. That's not done a lot, and I really like how important that was.
Javi has a cute little moment where he's talking about the cocoon popping like a balloon.
Can we try to move it? Or maybe pop it like a balloon so it deflates and it goes... My bad.
Popping like a balloon that's going to kill the entire city and wipe it out like a crater, but yeah.
Oh, and I didn't mention this in the notes, but Dr. Akana's in this episode. It's always nice to see her. And her and Solon are on first name basis because Solon calls her Lonnie.
They're dating.
Okay, guys, we're finally on the last episode. Episode 22, The Nemesis. Written by Becca Barnes and Elwyn Dale, and directed by Pookie himself, Simon Bennett.
Pookie.
The character focus is her body, but mostly Amelia.
It's her show.
It's her world, you're just living in it. The Dino Fury Rangers and Tarek need to stop Void Queenie, who is Amelia's mother, by the way, from using the Sporks cocoon to destroy Pinewood. So Tarek volunteers to use the Void Knight armor, yes, Void Daddy, to teleport the cocoon out of town.
Kendricks, get out of there!
Tarek, get out of there! He succeeds in doing this, but ends up destroying the Dino-Knight Morpher, with the cocoon hatching into a giant Sporks beast Void Queen controls called the Nemesis beast in a big, meaty cockpit!
Girl, every time it opened to show her in the center and then closed, I was like, what? And like the sound effects were like squelching. I was like, oh my god, stop this.
Well, I mean, it's a ribcage, so I guess it kind of makes sense that it's icky like that.
Kinda, but oh my lord.
So we burned some Sentai Zord footage before getting a green screen foot soldier fight on the Nemesis beast, with Amelia trying to get through to her mother, but to no avail. Zato, oh my god, then makes a noble decision by using the Dino Master Saber's ultimate attack, remember that? So Zato performs this attack, which looks very gorgeous, by the way, very colorful, and destroys the Nemesis beast.
Goodbye, old friend. That was fucking so sad. And I just have to say right here, before Zato does that attack, all the Rangers are trying to get through on the little thingy. They're not using their Zords. They're themselves scaling this fucking thing.
That was so fucking cool.
It was cool, but that footage, I swear it made me dizzy. It made me so dizzy.
It was something that Power Rangers doesn't really do, though. That's what I liked about it so much.
They're experimenting, and it wasn't just a Zord fight, which you were like rolling your eyes when those Zords showed up.
Especially for a finale, them just fighting the main villain hand-to-hand combat, it makes it more personal. I hate Zord footage. I hate it.
I don't love it either.
Most final battles should just be original.
Yeah, I don't want no final battle to be a fucking Zord fight. I think that's lame as shit.
Beast Morphers did that.
And it was lame.
Okay, so Void Queenie is still kicking, though, wanting to still kill everybody until she gets the good touch from Amelia.
How did she survive that when that whole sword's purpose was to kill your enemy?
It killed the Nemesis beast. She wasn't connected to the Nemesis, so
Okay.
One enemy per use, I guess. And technically they weren't destroyed. It was just kill the Nemesis bees. The sporks still survived.
Right. I mean, they're indestructible.
So she gets the good touch from Amelia, which burns all the sporks energy out of her, and thankfully tames her lust for wanting to destroy humanity.
I was wrong. I was so wrong.
You're my mom. I have missed you so much. I never stopped looking for you.
So after a Void family reunion, the rest of the team is like, hey, Zato's dead.
I think the saddest reaction was Ion, because they were the closest.
And like clockwork, the Morphin Masters show up after all the hard stuff is over and scoop up all the sporks.
Into a little crystal. They crystallize the sporks.
The Dino Fury Rangers ask if they can do them a solid and revive Zato, but they're like, nah.
Your mission is complete, Rangers.
No! Not without Zato! You saved him before.
Please. He sacrificed himself for us.
And the whole planet.
We know your leader meant a lot to you. Zato truly was a great ranger.
He's not here anymore, but he's not gone. He lives in your hearts, your memories, and in the grid.
What does that even mean?
Period.
So they leave with all the sporks. Or do they? And the team can resume their lives without Sporkshummer, with a familiar green slime ball scooting away. Onto the epilogue, 6 months later. So we see what everyone's doing. So let's talk about Ori and the Rafconians. They decided not to enslave humanity, but they did decide to stay on Earth, with the rest of them living in Area 62, starting up the events of aliens live on Earth in SPD, which is set in 2025. So we got 2 more years to have a lot more aliens moving to Earth. Maybe the next season we'll post more alien colonizing. On to the Voids, Santora and Tarek, who are just like they just came back from Hawaii, are also living in Area 62. Kind of weird considering they were in prison there, but whatever. But hey, they have a new baby on the way, because the actress was actually pregnant when they were filming this.
That's a way to do that.
And trying to decide on what color name after PR cities to paint the crib.
Any other requests? Yeah, some help on a decision over here? I like Briarwood Green for your sister's crib.
But honey, Corinthian Sunset is so much warmer.
No, I painted dozens of cribs. Ocean Bluff Blue is a color babies love.
Ollie and Amelia, still dating, I guess. That's about it.
Yawn.
Izzy, she graduated high school and plans on going to Oakdale College in the fall with Fern.
See, I told you they're moving in. Lesbians move fast.
Emphasis on plan. Ion opened a cafe in the same area Buzzblast is and came out as an alien to everybody since he's just rocking in his antenna in front of everybody.
Where did he get the funds to open this?
Good question.
I know he doesn't have a credit score, so there's no way he got a loan.
Jane and Jayborg plan to open a second Buzzblast location in a familiar town and are last seen eating flargen cake. I wonder how that tastes. It looks sour.
Flargen. Sour? It's cake. It looks like funfetti.
Javi, just living his best life, hearing other people cover his music. Enjoy that now, because you're in for some loss. And by loss, I mean your arm.
Yeah, you're gonna get your arm fucking chopped off, girl.
Slider and Mucus. So these two ended up surviving.
Yes.
Whew, I was worried there for a second. I'm like, I knew Slider was probably going to survive because he just disappeared. But Mucus, when she got into that cocoon, I was like, you better not kill that sweet little baby. But they're thriving and surviving and opened up a circus called Dr. Sly's Magical Mushroom Circus. We see a poster of them in their human form.
Love it.
So everyone is thriving and surviving until Solon tells them to teleport to Dinohenge, where this ghost energy begins to form in the base. However, it's not a ghost, but a ghost ranger, and it's Zato in a new suit. Let's talk about the suit.
Boot.
Boot so hard.
Immediately. I've never booted so quick.
I'm not even really giving it that much of a chance. I'm like, boot.
So yeah, it's a white version of the other suits, but the lightning bolt in the middle is red, and it has a cape. So it's clearly taking inspiration from Shishi Orion from Cure Ranger. I have shoulder pads in the same red helmet, which kind of looks weird. Should have been a white helmet with a red red visor, that would look so much better.
I agree.
But I get they probably did it on the cheap because they didn't know what they were going to get, what they got.
I literally think change the helmet and take off the shoulder pads and it is completely fine. The shoulder pads look like they took fucking foam on set day of and cut it out and then just stuck it on.
It's like one of those really bad Power Ranger cosplays where people don't really know how cosplay stuff works and they just make it with like $10 in a dream.
It was definitely made on the cheap.
Well, there's a way to make something on the cheap and still have it look good. You just barely tweak it. They could have just done a white repaint and called it a day.
I'm just glad they got those new suits because the Zenith Ranger looks a lot better.
It does.
So yeah, Zato is back, revived by the Morphin Masters to recruit his former team back to Ranger duty because Lord Zed has escaped his crystal imprisonment. Who would have thought?
I never would have guessed.
The season ends with them teleporting away to deal with that mess. So yeah, this isn't the end of the story. The Dino Fury Rangers will be returning for a 10-episode season dealing with Zed and getting new powers in the 30th season, titled
I was telling Amber off air before we started that they should have had little text like Chase into Space to be continued next season. Power Rangers Cosmic Fury or something.
I would have loved that. That would have been so good.
That would have been cute. Honestly, with like all the Easter eggs they were doing in this.
Talking about Easter eggs, let's talk about the Easter eggs we got. We got some paint names after Power Ranger cities. Briarwood Green, Mystic Force. Corinthian Sunset, RPM. Ocean Bluff Blue, Jungle Fury.
I think Ocean Bluff Blue is my favorite.
I like Corinthian Sunset. That sounds like a drink.
Can I get a Corinthian Sunset, please? Not like you would order it, right?
Oh, that's more me and Austin.
Can I get a Coke Zero? Jane name drops Angel Grove, where she says she wants to open up Buzz Blast Angel Grove.
Where?
I tweeted this earlier today when we were recording this. A fun thing they could do is say that they opened a Buzz Blast in the old building that of the youth center in it.
That would be cool.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but I thought that would be a cool idea.
Because you like callbacks.
I do love callbacks.
She loves a callback.
Don't call it a comeback, call it a takeover. Remember when we did quotes? That was one of mine.
That was one of your quotes? Oh, yeah. Was that one of the Housewives things?
Yeah. Speaking of quotes, let's talk about highlights and quote. I think this was a satisfying finale. I enjoyed it. We got drama, green screen action, a Where Are They Now epilogue, and a cliffhanger for next season. However, I did not think this was better than Evox Unleashed.
No. Evox Unleashed is literally one of my favorite finales ever. Period.
That episode killed Steel.
I literally went through the 5 stages of grief watching that episode.
Really traumatizing.
Yeah.
Steel has become one of my favorite characters in Power Rangers, period.
And we knew nothing about that episode. Nothing.
We knew nothing. We had no idea if he was going to come back. We had no idea he was going to become human.
I was fucking sobbing. And I never root for the Rangers to defeat the villain. But after Evox killed Steel, I was like, get his ass! Kill him!
Fucking drag that bitch!
I feel like Zato's sacrifice was kind of a little ruined by the fact we knew he was going to come back in Cosmic Fury.
I think there was no impact for me at all, honestly.
I think this is what we talked about before recording, but I was like, yeah, it kind of cheapened the whole thing. Just having this big goop reveal in the middle. It's like, oh yeah, all the Cosmic Fury stuff. And I was like, you should have waited until the season dropped and then after that revealed it. Because then that would have been like a huge goop. But also I would have held on to it until it premiered, to be honest.
They announced it at the end of August. This aired in October.
They could have waited another 3 months.
Yeah, especially since the new season's not going to air until fucking fall.
They weren't going to hide the fact that the team was going back to New Zealand to film shit.
Honestly, there wasn't that many spoilers from this second half of the season that came out. And they were filming a lot on a soundstage.
1, yeah, we already knew he's coming back for Cosmic Fury. But 2, that suit was leaked everywhere. The Ghost Ranger suit. I knew to expect that at the end of the episode. So when Zato died, I was just like, I know he's going to be back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was like the one spoiler we got from International Spoilers, which we don't have to worry about anymore. Thank God. It's a global Netflix exclusive now, so
that'll be nice.
Doesn't stop other leaks, but whatever.
That was a bit of a downer. I just didn't feel any impact from that.
Yeah, it just kind of felt kind of cheap.
It cheapened it for sure after we knew, but I feel like maybe if we didn't know, it would hit harder, but we did, so we can't really go into that.
Just comparing that to Steel's, like that hit us so hard because we knew nothing. We didn't know he was going to come back.
Speaking of Zato, though, we got some little references to past episodes with him. He says, coolio. He says, goodbye, old friend, to the T-Rex champion Zord.
That was fucking sad. That's what got me.
That was fucking sad.
If that shit would have happened with fucking Tyler and fucking T-Rex, I would have cried.
If he said, goodbye, little Rexy.
Goodbye, little Rexy. No!
My Rexy, ah!
By the way, the reason this is a callback, he said, hello, old friend, when he first used the T-Rex champion Zord.
Hello, old friend.
Goodbye, old friend.
Why don't you just take this Chromo Fury saber and stab me in the face?
My Kokoro is Brokero.
He also said smooth before he puts on his helmet at the end, which he said during the first team morph.
Yes, that was cute. And honestly, I read this note as he says smooch, and I was like, where does he say smooch?
He says, mwah, 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 mwah. I also like the little cliffhanger at the end, give a lead into Cosmic Fury. Good thing we actually got Cosmic Fury, because they did not know we were going to get this. So it would have been awkward if they filmed this and they didn't get one.
That would have been very weird. I think they probably would have changed the ending, I'm sure.
Okay, so that's the end of our Dino Fury Season 2 Part 2 review. This is usually where we'd announce our retrospective for Dino Fury, but considering that Cosmic Fury is on the horizon, we're just going to wait until that airs to do our retrospective. And just talk about all of Dino Fury and Cosmic Fury. That's a lot easier than just waiting.
We'll do a review of Cosmic Fury first, and then a separate review.
Yeah, we'll do that like maybe a few weeks after Cosmic Fury airs, and then the first episode we do in 2024 will probably be the Dino Fury Cosmic Fury. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap this shit up?
I think this was a strong group of episodes. It started off a little slow. 12 was me. I got there.
You can kind of tell by the way I was reading stuff. 12 and kind of 13 were kind of a little slow.
I think those were the slowest of the batch.
But once the Rafcon shit started, that's when banger after banger after banger.
Honestly, yeah. I would have liked to see more Slither. I am a little bummed that, especially because I feel like Slither, aside from Scrozzle, Slither would probably be my favorite Campbell Cooley villain. And we just didn't get enough of them.
We didn't. Never enough of the ones we really love.
Ranking them, I would say Slither, Scrozzle, Snide, Cosmo, Malcor.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Just really king shit, honestly.
Yeah, I would have liked to see more of that. I would have also liked maybe more balance with focus, because again, Ion got nothing really.
Golds are almost always my favorite exclusively. I feel like I don't know him, but he was there for a while, and I still don't really that much more about him. I really like him. He's a good gold, so definitely still on the list. If I had to compare him to like Ivan, I'm like,
oh, there's no comparison, girl.
Hopefully, maybe in Cosmic Fury, we'll get a little bit more with him.
I really hope so, because we just got nothing.
There's gold stuff in there. We don't get balance, but maybe they'll make Ion more fun.
I liked Ion more in the second half than the first half.
Some of his episodes in the first half,
they were very cringy, but he was a lot more likable in the second half, and he had a lot of funnier moments. I don't even know what I would have wanted from him. I just want to know more.
I feel like he got left behind a lot.
Yeah. His plot stuff was kind of just looped into Zato's with Rafcon and stuff.
To be a little controversial yet brave, I think Javi also got some of that treatment too. Ion and Javi were the two background characters. Like everybody else got pretty good amount because Ollie got the stuff with his mom. Amelia got obviously all of her stuff, which is great to see a Pink take a lot of focus. And then Zato is the leader, so he still got to do stuff. I could say he's probably on the lower end of the top ones, and then Izzy too. Javi and Ion.
Javi's stuff was just music. It was kind of one note as well.
There was some good shit with Warden Garcia, which that's good. Like whole father, son, and
that was one of the best episodes. Was when he confronted him.
So, playing guitar is more important than my once-in-a-career award ceremony.
I had to play with them. The Rangers,
Son, if you don't want to support me, just say so.
You're such a hypocrite.
Excuse me?
You want me to support you in your medal? But you don't support me at all.
Obviously, it's drama, but I think that was good drama.
I think the problem with Javi is that his story wrapped up in like episode 10 of the season.
His whole conflict was with his dad, and once that was resolved, that he didn't have anything else. I want to see more. Like, I love these characters. I wanted to see them do more, but all of the focus went to Amelia.
Once she whipped out that fucking manila envelope, she's like, okay, this is the Amelia show now. Get in line.
Power Rangers Amelia Fury.
Like I said, don't get me wrong. I love that a Pink is taking that kind of focus because that never happens.
Since like Time Force.
She basically was just the entire main character, and then obviously her becoming Red. It's like, okay, so she's going to be the center of attention apparently? apparently, which I guess is fine.
I just hope that they give good reasons for Amelia ascending to Red.
Obviously, she's going to be the leader of the team, but I don't want her to be the main focus of Cosmic Fury because she got the main focus of Dino Fury at the end.
Basically, her story is resolved. She found out she's an alien. She's got a family. She's going to have a little sibling. That's great. I love that. I love she's got a story. It's just there's still like 2 other people who didn't get any. I mean, granted, they're guys, like whatever, but you know.
Her story is done. We have 10 episodes and 6 Rangers.
That's my concern. It's 10 episodes. I'm just worried that it's not going to feel balanced.
It's going to be more of a story-driven narrative more than just characters growing because they've grown already. So this is kind of more like
I mean, they still have room to grow. Let's also be kind of honest about it.
Okay, so Javi is getting his arm chopped off maybe because he's got a middle arm.
I hope it's not real because that boy doesn't need any more trouble.
And then Ollie is rumored to turn evil.
Again?
And then other rumors going around is that Heckle is coming back as the Dark Ranger.
My pussy's hard.
And then Slider and Mikas are going to come back somehow too. That's another rumor.
As human forms in the end or
as
something.
Allies.
Yeah, as allies.
And lastly, due to behind the scenes photos and water bottles, we're going to get our first Orange Ranger.
There's an orange suit.
It's probably going to be based on like the Demeter Zord or something because that's an orange Zord and we're going Dino here.
Let her be a scorpion, okay? Fuck.
Speaking of her though, it's going to be Fern. Based off water bottles.
I really hope they give her a skirt.
I hope so too, but they don't have to.
No, they have to. They have to because she wore a dress and she's the more femme girly, which Izzy was not. So character wise, it would make 100% sense for her to have a skirt versus not. I'm pro skirt. I'm gay. I love skirts on the girlies. So
I like them to have a choice, but I like a mix.
Yeah.
I also love skirt ripping too. That was iconic.
That was a slay.
And I think that's it for rumors for Cosmic Fury.
Yeah.
The Nate coming back thing was kind of debunked. Just sad.
Allegedly. We don't know.
Allegedly.
It looks like this season they've been doing a really good job of filming on sound stages.
Yeah, they moved film studios, so they went from a Studio West, which they've been filming since 2004, to like some brand new studio. So there hasn't been a single leaked photo, except for stuff that were filmed by the actors accidentally. We only know about the Orange Ranger because Russell Curry accidentally posted a photo with sketches in the back, and we saw an orange helmet in one of the sketches.
The thing is, though, is that they did have room to look at that shit because they had all these suits and Zords from Q Ranger. They had a shit ton of colors they could use. It makes sense that maybe they're playing around with all the different ones they could have possibly come up with.
I would love to see a purple.
That would be nice. Give Tarek a new suit. Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, make him like Ryu commit. Oh my gourd.
He just turns into a furry.
I think there was a sketch with the Void Knight armor on it, so maybe he'll be back for this.
I'm gonna continue to be sad about it. I don't love the Ryu soldier suits as much as I like the Q Ranger suits. I really dislike the disconnect between the helmets and the bodies of these suits, and I'm just like, these don't mesh.
I know it was the direction. That's what they were told to do, so I can't blame the designer. Our track record in the US of original suits and Power Rangers is not the greatest. I mean, we did get Titanium and the Spirit Rangers from Jungle Fury, and those look great. The 2017 movie suits, no ma'am. The Zord, no ma'am. There's a lot of pros and cons. It's the 30th anniversary, so them doing original gives them so much more leeway.
They can do whatever the fuck they want on the ground. There's a reason why Javi has the metal arm. He has that guitar weapon. That's really cool.
It's only 10 episodes, so it's a shorter amount of footage for them to make. At the same end, though, the con is they're wasting Q Ranger footage just for Zords.
They wanted space and they just wanted their Zord footage, so I guess this is the monkey's paw wish we got. We got a Q Ranger adaptation. It's just that it's just Zord footage.
It's almost shitty as the Gokaiger one because it's like, oh yeah, let's have this really cool pirate theme but not mention the pirates whatsoever.
And just make them a power-up for the Ghost Sager suits.
Those suits didn't fucking need any of that because they're fucking ugly, dog.
If I get a Zyuohger adaptation after this, I will not say another bad word about Cosmic Fury. It's what I deserve, honestly.
I don't get to have balance. So eat shit. There were so many robots.
You never know, Amber. There was that card game thing.
Yeah, but I don't trust that shit. It's a fucking card game.
There was a character with Raptor's head on it. You never know. We could have Raptor show up in Cosmic Fury as a random alien.
She better not be a random alien. She better be a girl boss. She She's the daughter of Poisandra.
Oh my god, I would love that!
That would be something to get me to kind of forgive them, is if they added in Raptor and be the daughter of Sludge and Poisandra.
Going back to Dino Fury, though, I did like the second half of season 2 more than the first half.
I like all of Dino Fury as a whole, but the first half of season 2 was some of it was filler until Void Queen showed up and then it started doing stuff.
Nothing happened until the last 2 episodes or something.
Void Queen became Void Queen in like episode 6.
I know, but even after she showed up, it was still mostly filler. She carried it, though. I love my Power Rangers filler. You know, some of it wasn't the best, but...
You're not gonna get that in Cosmic, so enjoy it while you can.
We got filler with these characters, so that's fine.
Did all the tropes. Teamwork, body swaps, the whole 9 yards.
The body swap was my least favorite episode in both seasons.
Unfortunately.
Sadly, that's my favorite trope.
Wasted potential, to be honest.
Yeah, it could have been way better. There were still some funny moments in it. And honestly, I feel like the humor in both of these seasons was just fantastic.
I was laughing my ass off rewatching these episodes.
Yeah. There's a few jokes here and there that don't land or it feels weird and forced, but most of it was really funny, genuinely. Some of the jokes, it was like girl time and place. There's stuff going on.
I did not mention this when we talked about this episode, but in the invasion, Ori's like, I'm gonna enslave humanity. Ion's like cracking jokes in the background, and I'm like, time and place.
Yeah, but for the most part, it really lands. And the cast is what really sells it. Because if they got anyone else to do it, honestly, I feel like it wouldn't have gone off the way it did.
They definitely struck gold with this cast, that's for sure. That's probably why they got a 3rd season, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly.
No other season got a 3rd season except for Mighty Morphin.
I'm happy that we're getting more with these characters. It was nice to revisit these episodes, and I'm looking forward to revisiting them again when we eventually do our retrospective.
It's been a long time coming to review this episode because a lot of shit went down when we were trying to review this. And it's good that we waited because I think we came back at a good time. We needed a break. So are we good now?
I'm good now.
Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty, guys. That's the end of this episode 160. We'll see you next time for our big 10th anniversary spectacular. But until then, everybody say...